Hello, everyone. Today is a very special day since we have Monster Michael Todd on the show. Him and Vitaly will have a match probably less than a week from when this video is being uploaded. The winner of that will face Levan at the end of the year. If Michael Todd were to win, it would be an amazing spectacle in Hot Springs, Arkansas, against the winner of Ermes and Levan. Earlier, I slipped up off camera, but we're going to get it right. The winner of Ermes and Levan. That actually goes into my question that I just wrote off camera. Ermes and Levan, who do you want to win? Because Levan is an unknown entity, but frankly, beating him is much cooler than beating Ermes, who just beat Levan, because Levan's the unbeaten giant. But you also know what Ermes is like because you faced him before. So that you
Right.
could kind of go both ways. Like, I think Ermes is maybe the easier route to being the number one on the planet because you're familiar with that. But beating Levan, who beats Ermes, would be a much more exciting win. So who do you want to win the match?
And I hate to say that I have to choose, but I prefer to pull Levan.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of Ermes. He's awesome. He's done a lot of work. He deserves it. Um, but the guy I want to pull is Levan. That I think that is the culmination of what would be one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. If I can get through Vitalia, and then beat the unbeaten Georgian Hulk, right? So
Yeah. Now, I have to ask though, do you think Levan is like, let's say hypothetically, Levan and Hermes is 4-3 and they're very close, right? But Levan wins. Do you
mhm.
think that so you would now in your head know, okay, level wise, they're pretty similar. Would you feel better going against Levan from a style perspective, or would you feel better going against Hermes again?
Okay. So if I beat Vitaly, which I have full intentions of doing, I guarantee you I will beat whoever I face in December.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter.
So,
Like I don't.
in
It
your head, you just think this is the biggest challenge, and after that, on that day, you would be so good that you're not worried about anybody.
believe with every single thing that I am. I win against Vitaly. The version that I show up in the match in December will be the highest the sports ever seen.
Wow. Okay. Now, I have to ask, do you think that that match would be do you think that you're going to be dominant in that December match, or do you think it'll be like a Michael Todd dominant? Like I was talking to my buddy Alex Bakuradze, the translator, and I
Right.
was saying I was describing you dominating Vitaly, and he said Mike can't dominate Vitaly. But I was like, Michael dominating someone is like what Mike and Camille looked like. You
Right.
know, your dominating doesn't look like most people's dominating, but against Camille, you were not close to losing at any point in that match. You were very comfortable from the second uh, start. The first one you got flashed, but I think it was a false start. The second start from that point on, it was like, okay, yeah, Mike's got this. So
Right.
that was to me as dominant as a Michael Todd match can look. Will you show a new level of domination in December, do you think?
I'm getting a lot stronger in the areas that were my weaknesses.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm amazed at the difference that it's making. So if some of those show the improvement in this match with Vitaly and we see a little bit different performance from me, I would have a lot of confidence that saying 7 months later, there's a very real chance that it, I don't want to say dominant, but in a form that makes it look a lot different than matches have looked for me in a long time.
Hmm.
Just because I'm definitely I'm unwilling to be outworked. So
They may train smarter, but they're not going to train harder. Not a chance.
well, and that's the thing. I don't even know if it's training smarter. I train very smart for how I arm wrestle.
I agree with that.
Regardless of what people want to think about it, what I'm doing works for what I do. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. The point
Yeah.
I'm making is if you're saying nobody works harder than me, but you lose a match to somebody, like what explanations are left? Maybe they're more like Hermes, for example, has an advantage over you. He's not 50 something years old. If you were
Yeah.
in a young
So
30-year-old body with the things you know now, you would be much stronger.
yeah,
I'd have to think.
potentially, yes. So even, and I'm just saying, I'm unwilling to be outworked for that December match.
Hmm.
I'm not saying I haven't been outworked in previous matches, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm always going to win matches. I'm just saying if I'm victorious against Vitaly, I guarantee victory in December.
Hmm.
Like
Man.
I will bet my house. I'll bet everything I own that in December I win. It would be too much for someone to overcome. Me doing it in my hometown for the magnitude of what that would mean in front of a listen. I think we can sell out 6,000 seats and there won't be an arm wrestling fan in the building. I think Arkansas will show up to support just to watch the spectacle because
I,
that's the type of promotion I'm going to do for it.
if we don't have Arkansas fans, I would guess 2,000 people would show up, like arm wrestling fans. And
Oh,
I
I agree.
think, yeah, like I think that would be a much bigger draw than Jerry and Levan. And that's no knock on Jerry, but I also think, like, I mean, the location of Atlantic City, like, respectfully to anyone who lives in Atlantic City, but Atlantic City is a shithole. I don't know why anyone would go to Atlantic City now that I have been there. So because of that, like Hot Springs, Arkansas to me is much more interesting. Now, Hot
Oh,
Springs,
dude.
Arkansas
And we're
isn't.
very centrally located. So you can, prior to recent history, I held the three largest national championships in history:
Mhm.
2003, 2005, 2009, all in Little Rock, Arkansas, because people can drive here.
Yeah.
Like we're 8 hours from Atlanta, we're 4.5 hours from Dallas. I mean,
Texas, Florida, and
everywhere. I
then
mean,
like yeah, there's a lot of stuff
most
that
of the
can
Midwest. I mean, like,
yeah.
and then it's not a hard flight either. You know, what I mean, like it's not difficult to get here. And even though Hot Springs is 45 minutes from Little Rock, um, Hot Springs is one of the first ever national parks in the United States. Is a gorgeous town. There's tons of history. There's Al Capone history. There's all types of awesome stuff to do here. So it's a very cool place. Anyone who's ever came here, like for Monster Factory events, even Bob Brown is like, oh, I love Hot Springs just because it's a
Mhm.
cool town, you know. But yeah, I mean,
Now you got me dreaming about the week leading up before the Mike and winner of Ermes and Levan. That would be pretty fun fun time to spend in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm looking forward to it, hopefully.
yeah,
Fingers
I'm
crossed.
looking forward to it as well. I just, I got a very determined Russian that
Yeah.
I honestly, God, think that he is extremely dangerous and maybe one of the most dangerous opponents I will have ever faced. I just, I don't know what it is, man. I feel I can't. I will never say I'm 100%. I'm 100% confident about December. I can't say I'm 100% confident about this match, but I'm telling you, I'm as confident about this match as any match in this comeback.
And what gives you more confidence for December than Vitaly?
I know getting the opportunity, earning the right to face the winner. I don't have to be the best guy in the world except for one day,
Hmm.
and on that day, I'll be unbeatable. I won't be able to be beaten on that day.
Man, I already know that the comments are going to be so nasty about this, but all of this becomes cooler when you do it, you know?
Oh,
It's like
dude, listen,
people
they
can
can say
say
all the
anything they
nastiness.
want, but the moment
Listen,
it happens, then it's a little different.
greatness or people who try to achieve greatness, most people think they're insane.
I
They're
wouldn't even say
delusional
most. I would say everybody. There was not a single
because
person who has not done like Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, every single one of like elite level, elite, best of the best people. You cannot be completely normal. That's the truth of it. You have to be delusional. You have to be arrogant. You have to have some of that in you in order to do the things that are required to be great in any pursuit.
I mean, and the other thing is, I have what I feel like is an advantage. I'm not doing any of this for me. Like,
Hmm.
this is not about praising me. Like, I don't. It's not about showcasing what Michael Todd can do. It's, I truly, at the bottom of my heart, believe that God's using me for a purpose to show what's possible. What a dedicated person who believes and has faith and is willing to work can do. That's
Hmm.
it. You know, he didn't choose me for anything specific. I'm just in a position that I can be used to show what's possible. Right. That's
Hmm.
it. It's nothing that I've been chosen or anything like that. I'm just taking it upon myself to believe in the word that I can do all things through Christ, and I'm gonna show that.
Yeah. It's going to be a really, really, really good match. The pay-per-view link will be in the description. It's going to be the amount of intensity on that first go will be like immeasurable because I know how much both of you want to win because I know Vitali he says the same thing like he dreams every day of the shot against Levan and I know you dream those exact same dreams that he dreams and one of you two has to lose unfortunately it's just kind of the way an arm wrestling match goes it's going to be really good pay-per-view link is in the description so first question that I actually wrote ahead of time this was just something I impromptu came up with if the rules were to be changed to allow you to go underneath the table, how much do you think it would benefit you?
The only thing it changes my ability to rise more, right?
Hmm.
Because I can pivot and raise my hand higher because I could drop my shoulder lower. I haven't arm wrestled that way in so long. I don't even know if I can still do it.
Yeah, I mean, because you adjust to the rules that get written, and the rules
Right.
haven't been written for you allowing to be like this. And
Yeah.
you probably
It's so
the
funny.
last
I will
match you've
watch
had
other
that's like that's
promotions.
like 5
Yeah,
years.
I'll watch other promotions, and they're letting people get away with horribly bad Kings moves, right? And I'm like, why? That's a. What do y'all do? Why are y'all not? And it's just funny because I haven't done it since the new rules, right? Um, but you'll see people doing it, and then they'll tag me, and I'm like, I don't arm wrestle that way. I don't know why y'all tagging me in this shit.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it's cool, I guess, but I mean, I guess I popularized it, but all I did was arm wrestle within the rules. You
yeah,
know, it was legal when I was doing it, so I did it.
yeah.
You know,
And this is where it's like I never understood the cheater narrative. If you were cheating, you'd get a foul.
right?
Like, I mean,
Or
I completely understand someone who says I think the way Michael Todd arm wrestles is ugly and unenjoyable to watch. Totally fair argument that that's an opinion they can have. Anyone who's calling you a cheater, I like. Do you think the referee's just letting you do it? Like, do they think the rules say
I
that you
can
can't do it, but
guarantee
they
you, the
watched
referees are
it?
not letting me do shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I'm the
Against
most
Ermes,
preemptive foul call
your
guy in
arm went
history.
like
Yeah,
this, and
yeah,
they stop instant. I was like,
yeah,
I don't think he moved in the last 15 seconds, but
yeah. Whatever, Yeah, I mean,
fair enough.
and it's just a thing because they over scrutinize me because they're afraid of being, letting me get away with something. Which
Yeah,
is fine. Like, I'll just adapt to that too.
yeah,
But
and I think the same is going on Devin. We kind of saw that in Devin and Gennady, which is why I got the buzz cut. Is because Devin's shoulders would be like this. Let me go like this. It would be like this, and Gennady would be like this, and they'd be pushing on Devin's shoulder to go back. I'm like, you guys understand? They both know how to cheat in the setup, right? Like they both
right,
want a good shoulder position. I don't
right,
know,
right,
but yeah, and like they would. I mean, I hate to brag on the referees, but the second round, I think it was the second round, they spent 15 minutes setting the thing up, and Gennady literally started like this. And I was
right,
like, if we're okay saying go on bullshit, just say go. Like, why
right,
waste 10 minutes for a bad setup? If you're going to spend
right.
10 minutes getting a good setup, have the setup be good. Like, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like,
It's a difficult job. It really is. I mean, it's a difficult job. And the scrutiny's gotten worse because of social media, because arm wrestling
mhm.
is growing and there's so much scrutiny and so many, there's so used to, maybe you saw it, maybe you don't, maybe, like it's a lot less stress on the ref back in the day. Now, like, they catch as much hate as me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, so it's out there, but yeah,
Yeah, because I
it's
mean, the problem now is there's 100,000 people watching the match who can pause and fast forward zero point 0.1 seconds, and go, oh,
right,
well, look, his elbow jumped here. Versus before, it was like, no one's videoing this, no one's watching it back right away. Look
right,
good enough, like WAL, like that was a total shit show every single match, every single round. But that's kind of the idea. We just say go and it's okay. But like
right,
now we treat it a little more seriously, which is good. But in treating it more seriously, if you make like this much of a mistake, it's like you're the worst person ever. But that being said, we made like this big of a mistake in that match. That was, yeah,
yeah,
I should not have to shave my head, even though I do think it looks better now. But yeah, that was definitely a rough job, but it's never easy to be a referee. So I'll cut them some slack. They never get a thank you ever. They only get blamed.
right.
So yeah, thank you to the referees. Next question. You're on an island with three arm wrestlers. Who are you picking? And I'm going to say you cannot pick Rebecca. That's part of the challenge because I know that's a
Well,
low hanging fruit.
Rebecca's definitely who I'm picking.
Yeah.
But yeah, me, Devin, Levan, and Ermes.
And you guys will just practice.
Just arm wrestle the whole fucking time. Like, I don't. I mean, I don't even know how to answer. I mean, if it's me and arm wrestlers on an island, we're arm wrestling and we're training.
Well,
And I felt like those
no,
are the
no,
top
no.
four
This is
guys.
a
You know what I'm saying?
survival situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I should
I
like
don't know.
this is like you're on Survivor in the final four and you got to vote to get to the final tribal
So
council.
I've never watched Survivor, so I don't know the rules. So I wouldn't know how that
You live
goes.
on an island and you survive, basically. That's
Yeah,
all you got to
I,
know.
I would just, I would get out of there. I wouldn't do it. I don't know. I'd miss Rebecca too much. I'd come back home.
See, you're
Yeah,
the kind of person where you would see like a 5 mile like ocean swim and you'd go like
I can make it.
Rebecca might be at the end of that, so I'm gonna go.
I can make it.
And you might fail 3 miles in, but no one would have thought you could make 3 miles.
Right. I'm gonna give it everything I got until the body
Yeah.
quits on me.
But yeah, I also can't believe you haven't watched Survivor before. Really?
Yeah, no, they
Never?
actually wanted Rebecca on it. They casted her for it. Like they really wanted to go on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, we almost got it. We
I am
missed
like a
Amazing Race.
Survivor
We
super
missed
fan.
Amazing Race by that much.
Yeah,
We
I
almost
am
got
like a
Amazing Race.
Survivor super fan, so I cannot
My
believe that.
sister is too. Yeah, my sister loves it.
Yeah, and yet like the first season, I think the finale was watched by 80 million people, which is why I'm
Oh
shocked that
shit.
you weren't one of the 80
Yeah.
million. I mean, it's way smaller today. Like it's not, they
Yeah.
still go make, new seasons, but it's much smaller. But when it was like hot, like everybody
Yeah.
was watching it.
Oh,
Which like I expected you to say like, I saw season one, 25 years ago. But yeah, especially because you and Rebecca are like so into watching TV. So you guys got to get on
we are
Survivor.
big TV buffs. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Hey, right over there. There's my Beast Games jersey. Have you guys seen Beast Games?
Have not.
You guys got to watch Beast Games. Not just because I was on it, but also because it's
You were
just
on the show?
yes. So it was 1,000 people, and we were competing for $5 million. That's my jersey. Oh wait,
Okay,
hold up.
so which one is the one that's the Oriental folks?
That's my jersey right there. The Oriental folks. I don't know what you mean.
There's like a game that had like 100 Asian people. It looked like Asian people.
Oh, I think now I don't know if this is the show, but there's a show called Physical 100.
That's it.
Physical, yeah. So there was that, and there's a Russian knockoff that Vitaly and Schoolboy were on.
Yeah, I think that's
So
cool too. I think
yeah,
that's
I
cool to
thought
see
that
what
was
they did
real
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
And there was one challenge in that where like 20 real athletic guys failed at it, and Vitaly did it.
Yeah.
And
It's when they
Vitaly's
jumped up on the thing and they had to balance
yeah.
it. Yeah, I saw that's
Yeah,
badass.
and when I saw it, I go, "That's not really what Vitaly's good at all. Like he's not
Right.
built to do that." But fucking
Yeah.
arm wrestlers are just so ridiculous. They can
Yeah.
pull
They can
off
do weird
little miracles every now and
oftentimes do
again.
really
Yeah,
weird shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
stuff you wouldn't
where
expect.
do you watch Beast Games at?
Prime Video.
Oh, that's
And if you
badass,
have
dude.
Amazon Prime, totally. But I
Oh
got
yeah.
eliminated in the first episode on basically we got split into teams of 8 and we were bribed to leave. We were assigned the teams, and if someone in your team leaves, you get eliminated as well for a bribe. So a girl
Oh
in my
shit.
group left for $80,000, and I got eliminated by proxy.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and you can even see the moment she pushes the button, and I'm in the background like a total dope, looking the other way. Like it's bad, but yeah. So the moment of me being eliminated is on the show, but yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
was
cool
a
though.
super great experience. Before that, they had 2,000 people in Las Vegas. That was like a
Uh-huh.
qualifier for the thousand. So I made it past the Vegas stage. I like did very, very, very good on the Vegas stage, and then I won't spoil too much, but the Amazon show was certainly very luck based, and I got decently unlucky, but I had gotten lucky to make it to that point. There's a lot of times where it was just kind of random who'd be eliminated or not. But
Right.
I'll send you and Rebecca the like pilot episode that's like
Yeah,
for
that'd be
free on
cool. That'd
YouTube.
be
Yeah,
cool.
but it's
Yeah.
really cool. Anyway, next question. Do you think your style of arm wrestling limits the opponents you can defeat, or at least makes certain opponents maybe more threatening than they need to be? Mainly I'm thinking Devin and Ermes as guys who, if you were able to stand up a little more and contest height instead of going so far down, these guys would be much less threatening. So I guess my
Right.
question is, do you think you need your style to adjust over time to deal with those guys? Because those guys will always be tough for you, no matter how strong you get. That's
I
always going
think
to be a
if my
difficult style.
riser gets as strong as the strongest riser in the world, I can continue to arm wrestle in that fashion and beat everybody.
Hmm. You just have to get the strongest riser in the world, which isn't
Yeah.
easy, but you got
It's
to
not
make,
easy, but
yeah.
it's coming. I really think it is. So let me tell you what's crazy is those static setup holds, and this motion here I have not had in year. And this entire prep, this arm because it came close, it was stronger closer. It didn't come closer, but I've had this strength for so long, and this I didn't. This was ahead up until like 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
and then
okay.
this started to fail, and this just started to keep pulling.
Oh, okay, okay.
So the level that I'm at now is way higher than where I was previously. Like,
The level specifically from here to
well,
here has
just
improved
being able
greatly,
to
right?
apply pressure anywhere in this range,
Hmm.
right? Anywhere in this range, because used to the strength started here.
Yeah.
Now I have at least strength here or closer, like significant more.
Hmm.
Not that I'm gonna apply that. I'm not gonna do that in a setup. I'm not gonna. I'm not. It's not strong enough to defeat Vitaly there yet.
Yeah.
I know how to be.
But
I know.
it's getting
Yes,
stronger is what's interesting.
and I
Okay.
believe that the strength that I have now is so much better than it was when I get back home after being victorious in this match. That time that I have to prepare, I think I'll be very, very, very close to Ermes' pressure here,
Hmm.
which I think he has the strongest of this in the world.
I believe raw back pressure he's got, or up pressure as you call it,
Yeah,
he's got the
that's what I
most.
call our pressure. But yeah, that movement, that strength, I think I will be in the ballpark by December.
Hmm.
Now, if I'm in the ballpark with that strength, and then I'm in the ballpark with the riser curl, and then you add all of the strengths that I possess on top of that, it's going to make me a very, very, very difficult person to beat in December. You know,
I would say if you had Ermes hammer curl and Ermes rise, you would beat Levan. I would be like almost 100% sure. It's just get Ermes hammer curl and Ermes rise. It's easier said than done,
it's
right?
way
But
easier said than done, but consistency and people are still in shock that I'm continuing to progress. And I'm
mhm.
telling you, it's just my programming. It's the programming. And I don't know if it's because I'm so, I will program it. And because it's written, I have to do it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to do it or not, but it's written, so I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I
I mean,
program it out.
I remember that time you missed a lift, and the next day you said you're going up in weight, and I was like, I think it was on like a live stream I was watching. I'm like, this guy's a fucking idiot. And then you lifted the thing. I'm like, okay, so maybe there is some method. I'd also heard though you changed the strap or something, which might have helped a little bit. It was on like a riser lift.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the strap was really long, which was
Yeah.
making it not
Went
about
to, I
riser
shortened the
anymore.
strap a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
after I
there's,
learned that, it was like it made a little more sense. But I was still like, on paper, you miss a lift, you should try to go back to that lift. But you're like, I'm gonna move through and get it. And
yeah, I'm going to go hit the
I
next
was
weight.
like,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
So
And then
I
you
even
did it. So
skipped 2 weeks ago. I skipped a day. I just, I'd unloaded a trailer that had been outside for probably 6 months that my contractor left that he was supposed to unload. He didn't. It was about 85 and it was real humid. And I think there's some chemicals in it. I come home after unloading that shit, dehydrated and nauseated bad. And I'm like, I can't do my lifts today. So instead of pushing them to the next day and then having to reprogram my days, I thought, I'm just skipping a day and I'm waiting 2 days. I'm going up.
uh-huh.
So instead of a 1 pound jump, it's a 2 pound jump. Instead of 5 pound jump, it's a 10 pound jump. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and I hit all the lifts. You know, so
there you go. I mean, I can't tell you it's stupid because it's working, but I would say like conventional wisdom would say this training method's pretty crazy. But
it would. And the other thing
you're
is,
getting
people don't get it
stronger.
because I go down. I only hit PRs for about the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're like, "How are you getting stronger?" I'm like, I'm not. I'm not to my peak yet.
Hmm.
I deloaded and I restarted, and I just program. I just do a lift every other day, and once I get to what was previously a PR, my body doesn't know it. It just pushes through it. So
Like every time, whenever you restart, I kind of put Michael Todd in like the back of my head for 3 weeks, and then I start paying attention to your lifts because I know that that's when they're actually going to get exciting. Like
yeah, you're like,
everyone,
ah, he's doing these lifts, he's posting them, but he's done way heavier than
yeah,
this. And then
because like you'll do like 190 pounds on pronation, and someone will comment like, "What a beast!" I'm like, you guys know he like already lifted like two. Like I'm not saying 190 isn't impressive. Of course it's good. Probably like 2 to 3 people in the world could do that. But I'm like people will be like, I can't believe you're still improving. I'm like, the improvement's coming on later. We already
yeah,
did this
the
before.
improvement's coming, I promise. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I posted today and I did that Saturday. I did a 207.7 pronation. But the crazy thing was the strap comes off my wrist and goes into my thumb joint.
Hmm.
And how that did not drop. I don't know how my pronation held because the strap pressure, you actually see it dump my rise because it's 207.7 in my thumb joint versus across my wrist. But it still held. So
You
I
know,
think, honest to God, I think I could have done a 210.2 today. And I had thought about it, but really, I'd rather
no,
just let my
stick to
body
your
recover.
program. Stick to
There
your
was no
program.
need.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit, and I was only supposed to hit 207.2, but I went ahead and took 3 days instead of two. And I thought, because I was supposed to do them on Friday, I waited until Saturday. So I went ahead and put a 5.5 pound plate on instead of a five to get
Hmm.
that 7.7. But, and I did go up on my riser curl. I haven't posted it yet. So I was supposed to do, last one I posted was 108, and I only had one more day of lifts, and I've been going up a pound. Let's just say I went up more than a pound. But, yeah.
I'm very curious. Now, can you show me this? Can you show me how far your hand can get opened pronation wise, your right hand? Because some people
This is,
say, yeah, and then show me your right. Is that all it does?
you ready?
Okay. But you can't physically open it. You need it to be pushed.
No, I have to, but it can
Yeah,
be done. And
yeah.
207.7 would do it.
Yeah,
if
but,
my
well,
pronation wasn't so
the
strong. You know
the
what I'm saying?
entire reason I was bringing this up is because I've heard some people say, "Oh, his pronation can't be open," and I'm like, come on, you really mean to tell me that he has a block that starts here? Like,
Yeah. It's
there's got to
just
be some way it
this
could
is what I
open.
can actively or passively do. I don't know what you call it. Whatever this one. It's what I
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
on my own effort. But then I can take this and
Uh-huh. Okay. So
so
without a doubt, when you are not being turned over, it's not some lock you have in your pronator. You can
uh,
be turned to here.
of
The
course I
you
can.
are
I just
you are
have so
resistant.
much of this
Well, you
that
say,
keeps
of
it from
course you can.
happening.
Some people think you can't.
Yeah. Well,
Like there was a video you were like here, and someone's like, "Oh, he's totally turned over." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean he's totally turned over?
yeah.
There
Well, the
has to
other
be
thing that's
more."
funny is apparently I'm pronating that lift on my bone lock. I'm like, okay, so the lift might be here. Say this is where I'm pronating. Arm goes to here.
Yeah,
I know I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
know this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So
what are
to be
y'all talking
clear,
about?
you are not at the end of your range when you were doing that lift.
100% not even close.
Okay.
Like that goes to here, and it's. I mean, it's pronated. Think about that. If this was my lift, my arm is. I mean, you can see
There
it.
would
It's
be no
like,
way you could even torque your body to lift.
oh God,
Now,
no.
you need to upload it now because this is going to get a few thousand views, whatever. You need to upload on Instagram like, okay, this is my arm. There's no like try doing a pronation lift at your lock. That would be so entertaining. Upload that video.
Right.
That would be great. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of I think misconceptions about your lifts because I would say like people are, the biggest one that I think is the easiest to debunk is like, why isn't he doing it at 90 degrees? Well, I don't think you can do it at 90 degrees, but you don't need to. You
Yeah.
need to be strong here. So
So that's the
like,
thing. Okay, so I've done a very pretty 160, 165 at 90. Very
uh-huh.
pretty. Well, like I doubled it. It's on one of my Instagrams way
Yeah.
back. Real pretty. But I'm not trying to make my 90 degree. Yes, I want my 90 degree stronger, but I only have a short period of time, and I'm not stopping Levan at a 90.
Yeah.
I'm stopping Levan here. You know what I mean?
And if
Like,
you are, it's going to be a really good day. I mean,
if I stop
if
him
you
at
stopped him
90,
90, you'd be
all
the
this shit's been
strongest
working.
dude
You know
that's
what I'm
ever
saying?
existed. Yeah.
Right?
You stop him
Yeah,
at
I mean,
90, I would hate to see him trying to get to the rest of the motion, right?
and that's what I'm telling people. Like, listen, I'm getting this with the static holds. I'm getting this part stronger. So there will be a point that you have to get to level one, bam, just to get to level two where you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like this is going to get strong, or it's going to be hard to get through here. But even if you do, you still land here. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to keep getting this stronger. People are like, oh, you don't
Yeah.
need any more pronation. Well, y'all had pulled them on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I think I need more pronation. I think I need more pronation gauge back pressure. I think I need all
You
that,
won't,
but I also
at
need
the
these
end of the
close
day, you
remains.
won't think, you know what? I didn't need any of that pronation stuff. You're going to be like, yeah, it was nice to have.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no shit, right?
no one has a strong enough pronator to the point where they should no longer train it. And
Right.
the only guy on the planet who can make a case for you don't need to train it anymore is you. And I don't think you should stop training it. But if there were to be a guy who goes, my pronator is good enough, it's you. But it's good enough till it isn't. All of a sudden you might get turned over one match, and that would not
Right.
be it's not fun to realize then, right?
No,
All right.
and I'm enjoying the process. Like I'm enjoying the journey.
Hmm.
So why not keep doing it? And why not
So
keep testing the limits? Because people really thought the 200-pound pronation was impossible.
yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I know I could have done 210 this prep. So it's not unrealistic to think there's a 220, 225 by December. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I would guess those would be like assuming this prep is as incredible as you make it out to be, that's probably the number you're gonna be lifting at the end of it.
Right.
And that number would certainly get people interested in you and the winner of Ermes and Levan. There would certainly be some excitement. Now, next question, and this pertains directly to the Vitaly match. Do you think it's possible to pin you without a press?
Anything's possible. I
Mhm.
don't think it's likely or probable.
So you
I
would
don't think
say,
if there was somebody that could do it, I think it'd be Devin.
oh, okay,
I
interesting.
think he would walk far enough out and be able to hang out there for maybe.
Mhm.
But I don't think you can do it without walking.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't believe there is like in the straps, if you're in your spot, I don't think anyone can just blast you sideways. And if
I
they
don't think
could,
so.
they would be like not just a level above you, but a level above everybody else. Like that
Right.
person would need to be incomprehensibly strong.
You'd have
Uh
to be really strong, in my opinion.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
mean,
not just really strong, but that guy is beating everybody really easily. The guy who can blast you
what makes it
sideways.
so confusing is our belief in what you just stated. Yet Vitaly thinks that's how he's going to beat me.
Yeah, and I
So
think
that
he's
makes it difficult for me to believe that. Like I'm like, all right, well, if you don't have a plan B, I really do like my chances. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like for me to
um,
predict this match. I think the only way I could do it, like with a fair opinion, would be to interview Vitaly, and I've tried to, but I think we'll do one after the match. He said,
right.
but
Are you
like,
going over there?
no. I think I'm done traveling to the events for a while. I'm actually partially retiring arm wrestling YouTube. I'm only doing the things I want to do, which I'm going to be doing some interviews here and there. But
Right.
like my like go getter really involved in arm wrestling phase of my life is primarily over, and I'm making a different channel. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
cool,
my
cool.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So because of that, I'm not as focused on arm wrestling, but I'm still like stuff like this I enjoy doing, so I'm gonna do it. Like interviews I like doing, but I'm not gonna be as focused about like I gotta go to the events and film this and get this and upload short. Like, I'm kind of over it. And
Right.
because I think I'm very good at making YouTube videos, but I don't think I'm making YouTube videos in a category where I'm rewarded for being good at making YouTube videos. You know, my first video got 2,500 views. My second got 7,000. My third got 8,000. Most people don't ever see that on their channel ever. Like they'll upload forever and they'll never hit those views. And I got that like immediately. So I just need to be in an area that has like more, I guess, like room to grow. Because I kind of
Right.
already hit the limit of like, frankly, if I upload an arm wrestling interview, are only so many people who would watch it, no matter how good the title, thumbnail, production, everything, no matter how good any of it was. Arm wrestling interviews only appeal to so many people, right? But I love
Right.
doing them, so I'm going to do it.
Right.
But it's not something I'm going to like actively chase so much. Anyway, all right. Next question. In 5 years, what do you think your arm wrestling style will be? And the reason why I came up with this question is because I was kind of thinking like a lot of people say like, oh, Micheal can never beat Devin. But 5 years ago, what your style is and what Devin's style is changed dramatically. And 5 years before that, your style and Devin's style changed dramatically. 5 years before that, et cetera, et cetera. So to think that in 5 years, your style is the exact same thing would be pretty crazy. What do you think your style would be in 5 years from now? And what do you hope for it to be?
If I can continue to train in all these areas that I'm training, I think I could do any technique I want to do
Hmm.
at a very high level. I don't know if I'm ever going to be forcibly initiating a drag hook. Um, for one, it's like
I
you
would
saw.
bet good money that I don't think you're ever going to be a guy who's trying to dive into a hook anytime soon, but maybe a
Yeah,
press.
yeah, press for sure. Because I have so much pronation, it's a less likely path to injury. Why would you hook if I
Hmm.
can pronate people? And then if I close up the range of motion and I can pronate and take your hand from here, why would I hook you?
Yeah.
I do think I have a lot of room to grow still on my riser. Um, and that this closer range of motion strength because I can come to here. So if I could get this as strong as I am out here, if this was ever as strong as out here, I'm beating everybody. Like,
Yeah.
is it possible to get it there? I don't know. We'll see. But if 5 years is a long time. Now, yes, I'll be 52 in 6 weeks. So 5 years, I'm 57. But look at Todd. Now, in 5 years from now, I can guarantee you, I'm not a super heavyweight.
Hmm.
Just unless I'm just a fucking like I've given up on life and I'm just a 500-600 pound dude that just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like that could possibly happen too. But if I'm a guy who still trains and is committed to a healthy lifestyle, I'm 260 shredded, cutting to 253s.
Yeah. Like I think you should at a certain point the super heavyweight pursuit needs to stop for the purpose of health. You can't just forever be super massive trying to be as big as possible.
Well, that's what when Rebecca and I chose this last year. It was in July when the match with Dottie got canceled because he lost, right? So then it was I'm
Uh-huh.
going to super heavyweight. So I gave myself 24 months. So technically, I have till end of July 2027 2026 to achieve my goal. I'm of the belief that um, it's this year. You know, I either accomplish the goal this year or I give up the pursuit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
For one, I can live a better quality of life leaner. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think I could do just as good off social media and everything else. fitness content, all the cool shit, all this, like you said, all the stuff I've added here to the facility, to the Monster Factory, all the things I could do, collaborations. And I think the 253-pound world title is well within reach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No reason for me to go after it now because I am in a elite level in the super heavyweight division. But if the goal isn't obtainable, then I'm not going to keep putting in the work to be this size. This is the most 300 plus pound days I've woke up in my entire life.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, there's probably only been not that many times you were 300 pounds and you didn't look like this at 300 ever.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, like for the last 6 weeks, I have probably woke up less than 300 pounds 6 times.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
so you're like
I'm 301 to
305-ish.
306 every morning eating healthy, like
Uh-huh.
without cheat days. I wake up 301 to 306 every morning.
Hmm. That's
So,
crazy.
I mean, I could easily be 330, but I would look like shit.
Yeah. And,
So,
and I think like I mean this is where I'm kind of curious what your I guess belief system is surrounding weight going into December. Let's say hypothetically your opponent is Levan, and frankly, I think in a scenario where you're going against Levan, the main thing you should be going for is I just need to stop him because I believe nobody is going to lose a stopped match against Levan if they have it stopped in a somewhat okay position. Like I mean, if you stop him here and you're Jerry, not the best, but if you stop him in an okay position, I don't believe anyone will bleed faster than Levan given his size.
right.
Do you think that if you were against Levan going in December, that you're okay ballooning to 350 and being fat, only knowing you just need to be as strong on boom, go?
So it'd probably be more like 330 less fat. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I think there's a possibility that I could get to 330 with a similar body comp to what I have now. So if that was possible, I would. And plus, it's winter. It's way easier for me to gain weight during those fall and winter months. You know what I mean?
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's just I'm not sweating as much. It's not hot. Arkansas is fucking hot. Like
Yeah.
it's hot. The humidity here in the summer, 80% humidity, 100 degrees. Like it's horrible.
Hmm.
So it's hard to maintain weight in the summer. Winter months, I would see me probably at 320, 325 strip morning weight, weighing in, dressed 330, 335 in the evening, and being a similar size to Levan, right?
Hmm.
Like I have a 10-inch wrist. I think they claim that Levan's wrist is close to 12 now.
Yeah.
Um, 18 and a half inch forearm, his is 21. I got 22-inch arms, his are close to 25. It would not be unrealistic that I could finish out the year with a 10 and a half inch wrist, 19 plus forearm, 23-inch bicep. Like
You're
big.
never going to be bigger than Levan, but you could get real close.
I'm telling you, I could look very similar in size without the belly.
Uh-huh.
Like you would look at his 400-pound body, you look at my 330-pound body, and be like, damn, they're about the same size. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like,
I
although we
remember,
saw we
man.
saw Jerry stand next to him and
Yeah, I
he
was about
didn't
to
look the
say
same size.
Jerry and Levan's
But
face off, like I knew how big Jerry was and I knew how big Levan was, but that like took the wind out of the sails for the match.
it did. You're like, what
It
the hell? That's
like
a different
I was
human.
just looking at them next to each other like that guy is not beating that guy. I mean,
Right.
just from a visceral, like you don't need to know anything about arm wrestling. I'm looking at that guy, I'm looking at that guy, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Given they're both talented arm
And
wrestlers. Like
Jerry is huge.
yeah,
You
yeah,
put Jerry
exactly.
against
No one
normal
makes
size people.
Jerry look small
No. And
except
that's
for
what the
Levan.
funniest thing is that I run into all the time is people see me in person like, damn, you're way bigger in person.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, I'm around big people all the time on videos. I mean, put me
Uh-huh.
around a bunch of normal sized folks. I'm a big dude. And I was talking to Damon Payne today, my buddy from Nine Line. And what would be hilarious if you put a bunch of professional football players and put them up against a bunch of professional arm wrestlers and just saw how big arm wrestlers are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you never can get the scale.
Hmm.
You never realize how, like, no one thinks Ermes is big. He's
Yeah,
6'2",
he's
280 and in
huge.
shape.
Yeah, I mean
Like
he's
he's he's
huge.
he's a fit dude at 280 pounds, six
Uh,
foot two,
every
compared to the
super
football
heavyweight arm
player.
wrestler is
Yeah,
like one of the biggest guys you'll ever see in your entire life. He's when you go to the gym, the big guy at the gym.
he's the jack
That
dude at the
yeah,
that
he's
big
the
dude. That's that
huge
guy.
guy at the
You know what I'm
gym.
saying?
That's the
And
arm wrestler.
Dave Chafee looks like a damn gorilla. His arms are he got that ape index. I don't know what it is. His arms are huge.
Hmm.
He's a big dude, and he's cutting the 53s. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
fact that Gennadi's going to 253 blows my mind.
Uh-huh.
But
Well,
I
from
mean,
what
he
I've heard,
had,
he's very good at water cutting, and I
yeah,
kind of heard that he was going to be losing weight before. Like, I
right,
didn't say anything publicly, but I heard about this match like quite a while ago. He's been cutting down there for a while. Like,
right.
I think on what was it, February 15th they had the match. Like February 20th or so, he was already getting ready for 253s. So
Okay,
he's been working on that for a while. But
right.
yeah, because like a lot of people they think when the match was announced is when it was set. But Gennady
Yeah,
has known
no,
about this for a long
there's
time,
no
you
way
know.
he would accept it that close, having
Yeah,
cut that much weight.
yeah. If he was 140 kilo, there's not a chance.
I mean, for me, like, let's say I get to 330 for Levan, I'm a 70-pound cut. Like
Yeah.
I'm a 70-pound weight, a fat loss journey back to a 260 weight that I can water cut to 253s.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the realisticness of it. Like I'm gonna win this match. I'm gonna be the biggest, strongest version I've ever been versus Levan or Ermes, and then it's gonna be fit, jacked, martial arts version of Michael Todd. Like that guy's coming back. The dude that can do the splits and the aerial kicks and badass shit. That dude's coming back.
Now, actually, that's so awesome that you say that because I had this question written and I'm going to go out of order. Um, would you ever take a celebrity boxing match or MMA fight, something like that?
100%. Like I offered it before Devin fought Thor. I told them, I said, how many followers do I have to get a celebrity boxing match? And because this is when I was, even before I arm wrestled Devin, I
Uh-huh.
was asking for a celebrity boxing match. Um, and then when Devin accepted, I called that day, and Devin had said I just accepted. Like I was
Oh,
calling this
wow.
because I want to step in for Eddie.
Uh-huh.
But obviously Devin was the bigger platform, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was throwing my hat in the ring immediately.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, like I think Devin for hyping up a boxing match, you can't get a better guy. Like it's not that you wouldn't be entertaining, but Devin was so entertaining in the lead up to Thor. Like he was saying, like they made a bet they're gonna break each other's nose or something. I wasn't really around at the time, but Devin, like I think, is frankly a little out of place in arm wrestling because I think he takes it way more intense than most people do. But in
Right,
fighting, he takes it just as intense as everybody else does. He plays the game. Versus
right,
sometimes
right.
in arm wrestling, people are a little off put. They're like, like shoving at press conferences is very taboo, I feel like, in arm wrestling. That's like, whoa, we don't do
Well,
that.
listen,
But in boxing
we're
and stuff, that happens all the time.
we're all grown men, and if you want to shove me, then we can. I mean, I feel like we should just okay. We can put the arm wrestle on hold. We can go outside and handle this shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's just weird, man. I mean, I'm we're an older generation too. Like, see, I don't understand today's world very much because I'm from the South and I'm 52. So we grew up. If there's a problem, we go outside, we fix that problem, and we shake hands afterwards. You know what I'm saying? There's not this. I'm gonna run my mouth about you, and there's no consequences.
Uh-huh.
No, we're gonna handle this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just don't understand it, man. It's so confusing to me.
Yeah,
So,
you are a dying breed,
it,
unfortunately.
well, I mean, I'm telling you this. It's just it's sad that, in my opinion, that the world has gotten to a place where you don't get to be men.
Uh-huh.
You know,
We're
I,
getting very political commenting on the state of the US, but I'm in. Let's go.
it's just for me. I mean, I was raised differently, man. I mean, I was taught in school. You get in trouble at school, you can get in trouble at home. If someone punches you, you defend yourself. I mean, you don't start fights, but you sure finish them. I mean, I taught that when I was 10 years old, right? Like, I'm not
Uh-huh.
going to be the bully, but I'm sure in the hell not going to get bullied. You know what I mean? And I get cyberbullied all the time. The amount of
Hmm.
people that call me a pussy and shit online
People
is
are,
shocking to me.
yeah,
And I'm like,
like,
you do realize there's a chance that you might see me one day. You know what I mean? Like,
uh-huh.
you're going to run into me. Like, it shocks me.
I mean, this is one of the reasons I stopped using the arm wrestling Reddit, and I don't know if you know, but there was like this whole thing, like it turned
Yeah,
into
I got
a
off Reddit
a
like
way bigger ordeal than
three
it
or four
needed to
months
be.
ago. I had to quit
Yeah,
because,
but I
yeah,
felt the same way where it was literally like I read them saying these awful things about Auden. I'm like, Auden's a good guy. I've met him. I
yeah,
don't have a single bad thing to say about him. If you read like Neil Pickup is another example. Neil Pickup is like the best dude ever. I don't have one bad thing to say about Neil Pickup. If you go on the arm wrestling Reddit, Neil Pickup's the biggest piece of shit, and no one should ever talk to him and never buy his events. And I pirate his events because he's such a bad guy. I'm like, have you guys ever met this? Like, have you met Neil Pickup? Like, you guys know who
right.
you're saying this about? Like they would have hated Mother Teresa, Jesus Christ, and like Mr. Rogers. Like I literally can't believe how hateful they are. So it's like the moment they were being nasty with me, I was like, wait a minute, they're awful to Michael Todd, Neil Pickup, Mother Teresa, Auden Larrett. They hate everybody. So I'm like, they hate
Oh,
me. I'm just part of the club. Like, I
no,
mean,
I get it. So
of course they
Rebecca was
hate
just
me.
like, how can I be saying something? He's a kid. How can you say that about a kid? And you hate a kid? Like, how you? I mean, he's a kid. Like, and like, I mean, he just, he just happens to be Devin's son, and kids try to emulate their parents anyway, and he is in a position to be great at something that who better to learn from? Like, it's ridiculous, But
Yeah, and people
that's
saying
just
like, "Oh, he acts like his dad." Yeah, because he's his
most kids
son.
do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. But anyway, so
but yeah.
I think I'd
But
ask
yeah, I
what.
would definitely do a celebrity boxing, MMA. Kickboxing would probably be a better fit for me because my when I'm in form, my kicks are probably as fast as my hands are.
Mhm.
So kickboxing. Now MMA, I have no ground game. I have no grappling. I'm sure if someone said, "Hey, here's a pretty good payday for an MMA fight," I could get trained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because I enjoy the training as much as I do the competition.
just work your takedown defense and kickbox.
Right
That's all you gotta do.
there, you go.
Yeah,
Right.
because now what actually reminded me of this was I watched the Eddie Hall and Marius Pudzianowski fight. You see
Holy
that?
shit. Yes. And
Yeah,
Pudzianowski has been an MMA fighter for a while now. He just
literally.
couldn't handle that right hand and
Well, it was
Eddie.
fascinating too. The betting odds, Eddie Hall was like a 4-1 underdog before the fight.
Right.
And if they were to do a rematch, he would be a 100-1 favorite. I mean, that was a situation where
Yeah.
clearly the odds were way off. Like it's one of those things where like if you were lucky enough that let's say you're a guy who is good enough that you can actually assess their level on in MMA sparring, right? And if you
Right.
sparred both of them, you could have fucking bet your house on Eddie Hall. Like you would have known he
Right.
would win because like
Right.
there's like and they had it written in the contract they were going to do a rematch and all this stuff was planned and that rematch is dead. No one's watching that again. Not a chance. I
Right.
mean, the moment like and I missed the fight. I saw it on Philip Larson's story, and I was like, "Oh shit, the fight's going on today." And
30
I went,
seconds. Yeah.
literally, I went and looked it up on YouTube, and I saw a YouTube short, and I was like, "Okay, so like this will show me like the end of the fight, whatever the decision."
No, whole fight.
I click on it, and the bell rings on the first round. I'm like, "It's the whole thing," and I was like, "Holy shit!" And the
Yeah.
moment I realized it was the whole thing, I'm like, "So Marius must have like instantly submitted him on the ground or something." Fucking Eddie Hall threw him around. I was like, "Okay, that did not." Few people picked that right. I'll say
So
right
Neil
now.
told me, Neil's like, listen, Eddie's a special athlete. He goes,
Hmm.
Eddie's really taking this serious. So I knew because if you know Eddie's background, he was like a very accomplished swimmer
Yeah.
who then, fell in love with strongman and did everything he could to be the world's strongest man. He's a very disciplined person, and he's just a very special athlete. So it
Mhm.
didn't surprise me at all. Um, but yeah, it
I
was
mean,
crazy.
like Eddie Hall's a guy where any sport he would have taken up, he would have been good at. It didn't matter if it was strongman or if he was an arm wrestler, he was a MMA fighter. He would have been elite in any sport he chose because he's just one of those like not just physical talents, but also just mental talents. He's one of those guys where like I sort of think Devin in a way is similar. I think Devin is just so I even think you're in a way similar. Like, I think if any of you had picked any sport, I'm not going to say arm wrestling wasn't probably your biggest gift, but if you'd have been an MMA fighter when you were 20, I'm not confident you wouldn't have been good. I'm pretty damn sure you would have been maybe not a world champion, but very elite. Being a world champion, I think in MMA is much harder than in arm wrestling, in my opinion. But you would have still been quite good.
Right. Well,
Uh,
it's a myth like we talk about Devin. Devin can take himself to a different place mentally, right? And I think a lot of that is attributed to his career choice, right? Like
mhm.
he's seen the worst the world has to offer, so he can take himself differently. But there are a lot of us out there, when you mentioned me, who just can embrace the grind. Like David Goggins will just push to see how far he can push before his body quits, right?
Uh-huh.
And some people have that, and I've always just been someone who was able to embrace the grind.
Like in my opinion, I think in the super heavyweight division, you probably have some of the worst genetics, but I think you probably have the best work ethic. It's
Yeah, I
literally
do.
just
People are like,
like,
oh, you don't have bad genetics. You're 6'3". I'm like, I'm 6'3" with an average size hand.
yeah,
I'm 6'3" with average size limbs. I don't have good. aesthetic genetics. I'm an endomorph. I'm a 300-pound hay hauling country boy naturally. That's what I would look like.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't have a whole lot of muscle mass. I would just, if I didn't eat right, didn't work out, that's me, right?
Yeah.
Now, people, it's so funny. People are like, oh, he's on. When I showed the before and after pictures, it's steroids. I'm dude, that is 100% nutrition,
Yeah.
100% nutrition.
You
Because
can't eat
genetically,
you can't
it,
eat pizza and donuts and
no,
have a
God,
six
no.
pack
And
on
I mean, I
steroids.
can and be big and be a big super heavyweight guy. And I'm not eating that now, and I'm not happy with how I look. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm not eating pizza and shit now. But yeah, so it's just, but it was just, I wasn't supposed to be the super heavyweight champ.
Hmm.
It was a progression. You know what
I,
I mean? I was a
I think
198-pound guy, and then I was a 210-pound guy, then I was a 220-pound guy. Now this is my lean body. Like I
mhm.
was a 250-pound guy who would get ripped to 198. And then I was a
Yeah.
200 who would get, because I like to eat and I get fat and I didn't want to be fat anymore, so I'd eat right. It just it evolved. Years and years and years. It turned into okay, super heavyweight.
Mhm. I think Engen's a similar way where I don't think Engen has any like anytime an athlete's elite, they'll be like, oh, his genetics are crazy. I don't think Engen's genetics are crazy. He just worked so hard, and he was just the guy that he wanted it more. Like, I mean, he told that story where he's sitting in the bathtub and he wants to cut his arms off because he got second place. Like he's that level of crazy where it's like
Right,
when you are that and I won't even say he's not gifted. He's just not physically gifted. He's mentally gifted. There are some people where they have that craziness in them that they are willing to chase something like for me, I could never want any sporting result that much.
right,
I could never imagine wanting something that badly. You could make me very competitive. I'm innately incredibly competitive, but I'm not that competitive. Like I
right.
would never cut my arms off.
That's
Engen's that
pretty.
guy
That's pretty
where
rad.
he'll go there in the head
Yeah,
where you don't want the fucking match to stop against the guy who will cut his arms off if he loses. I mean, that's
right.
not the guy you want to go against. So
No.
that's Engen's gift. Engen's gift is just mental tenacity. So yeah. All right. Interesting question, very off topic, very random, but I have gone a large interest in Matt and Nugo. And I'm curious to ask you, what are your opinions on the levers involved in Matt and Nugo? I believe this is likely the biggest leverage difference in an arm, maybe other than Gabby and Barbora. Other than that, probably the biggest lever difference in a
Or
match in East versus West.
Sanders Sardis versus Rustam Babayev. Probably
That's
something
up
like
there
that.
too. That's up there too. I think both of the Sandrus and Matt are about the same height. Rustam and Nugo are about the same height. So
Yeah, so
it's
pretty
right there.
similar. I think Matt may have longer eighth index though. I think his levers might be longer than Sanders. Point is, crazy ass match.
Hmm.
And what Matt did against Angerbayev was one of the most impressive. That was the most impressive performance I've ever seen in Matt. It was amazing.
I was
Now,
shocked.
yeah, shocked. Now it's possible that he could do something similar to Nugo because of the leverage, but it's also the leverage could be a disadvantage, and Nugo supinates his hand and puts him in that short little lever and just runs him over.
Hmm.
So I have no idea what's going to happen. Either his long lever is going to be great and he's going to destroy him like he did Crosby, or he's going to get turned up or over by Nugo and it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
But there is no long match.
Yeah, 100% there's no long. Like, yeah, this
There's a
is flash
total
pins.
annihilation,
And it may not
destruction
be
by one
three
guy.
zero. It may not be
Yeah.
3-0 flash pins, but it's flash pins the whole match for
Yeah,
sure.
it could be. I mean, if there's a buckle involved, if there's any of those things come into play. But yeah, there are two guys who are going to aggressively attack, and leverage is going to be the deciding factor.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's the longer lever or the
I
shorter lever.
am I
You
am
know,
so fat. Like if this was two boring guys, I would be fascinated by the match just because I think I'd love to see a major stash of
that's slash of styles,
clash of styles.
slash of
There we
styles.
go.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't know where I
love
got
seeing a
slash. Yeah,
major
slash of
clash of
styles.
styles.
Yeah,
You know what's funny? I was about to say slash of styles, and then you said slash of styles, but I was like, I know that's wrong.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
so
do have the
like,
style part right,
yeah,
but
because I was experimenting at our club where we would do setups where I wouldn't have an elbow pad. And I found that, in my opinion, I believe when you have a large leverage difference, it favors the shorter lever. But when you have a minor leverage difference, it's nicer to have the longer lever. So like
Longer.
when you're a guy like Matt, you want to arm wrestle Angerbayev, who's 6'1" and you're 6'5", and you're a good bit taller that you have that longer lever, but you're not so much taller that you can get over pronated and he's got more arm than you. I
Right.
believe that Nugo is actually going to have quite a large advantage in this match, and I think he's going to blast Matt. That's my genuine prediction. But I'm so fascinated to see how, if that doesn't happen, why does it not happen? How does Matt deal with that?
Right.
And then on top of it, Nugo and Matt are just like ridiculously intense. So yeah, ended
Insane.
up.
Insane. Yeah, they're
Uh,
two great characters for
I've
sure.
got 1250 on Nugo to win one round on arm bet. That was my
Did you know I'm a
Oh yeah,
shutout
I
snake?
saw that. And you and Vitaly, it's interesting. My genuine prediction of it, initially I had you, and the last few days I've kind of more leaning Vitaly. But then this is where I want to talk to Vitaly, because if Vitaly tells me I'm going to hold on outside of the straps and I'm just going to blast them sideways, I would bet my house on you, because that's not going to happen. But if he tells me, oh, I've been training a press for the last 6 months and I'm just going to climb press, I'm like, now I'm liking Vitaly's chances much more. So I have
I do
such
not
a
see that as the path to victory for him.
climbing and pressing.
That means I have to allow him to climb.
I don't know, man.
I'm telling you.
Like,
Show me any match in his entire career where he climbs, and climbs.
I think if there would be a guy that he would start climbing for, it would be you.
Yeah. But he's going to have to, I mean, if I know that that's the path, I'm just going to sit there and let him do it. Is that the plan? Like, I'm just like, oh, you've got my height speed. You just keep climbing, sir, and go ahead. You know,
I think his long lever and his riser, if he has more back pressure than you may be opened up where
you mean if he
rising would
has
be
more up
difficult.
pressure than me?
Up
Hammer curl
pressure.
pressure?
If
Yeah.
he is able to win hand peg to hand peg center after go,
Impossible.
you think that's impossible? Interesting.
It's not a possibility. What,
Okay.
not if he's strapped to me.
So you are certain in the straps you would do kind of like you did against Gennady, where you drag him so far to your side that you're winning sideways just because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to control this. Hand peg to hand peg center, the hands will be on my side of the table.
Now, don't you think there's any chance he can use his up pressure and long lever to climb up, and he can pull it
After
back
the go,
after go, after go?
because on the go, he has to be off my knuckle.
Yes.
So
I
his long
believe
lever will be a disadvantage
I
in the setup
believe
because he'll have to be off his knuckle.
this is how I think he would beat you. If I'm
Yeah.
in Vitaly's body, this is what I would do.
Okay.
I'm understanding initially, I believe you will win hand peg to hand peg center, but I also believe that in the center of the table he will be dominant, which I know you've said he won't be the case, and I really hope it isn't. But this is how I see the match going, and I see him winning center, but
Okay.
at some point.
Is this risk cup like that?
No. I'm just. But anyway, at
Okay.
some point he's going to be losing his wrist in the last 6 inches of the pin. At some point there, he's losing his cupping. If he is smart, and if this works, how it will work is he will go up pressure, rise, and
With the collapsed wrist, or he came back to center to do
he
it.
came back to center to do it. Yeah, I mean he can't
Okay.
climb down here. He would need to basically like Ermes did, where he's almost letting you win center just to kick back so high and climb so high. I believe with his long lever, he could maybe get on your knuckle. But then after that, if he's going sideways and he doesn't plan to press on the finishing side, this is where I'm very fascinated to know this. If you've lost everything in the hand department but your pronation, you're not losing your pronation. I don't think there's any way. If you're like this and your riser's dumped and you maybe even your fingers are open, but your pronation and your arm are intact, I don't know he can go sideways through you.
Yeah.
I think he needs to press at some point. But at the same time, just like you say, am I going to let Vitaly climb all over me? Do I think Vitaly seriously doesn't know that he should be training a press? Of fucking course he's training a press. I mean, he would be an idiot not to be training a press right now. So, like,
So do
this
you
is one of
think
these.
the only way to press me though is to climb, and press me? You agree you can't press through my arm at my wrist?
Jerry Cataret would be the only guy who has any chance of flopping you off the go, and I don't think he would.
He can't.
So, yeah, it will not be a flop. It will be a
That lane is
kick,
closed. That
kick
lane is
back
closed.
wrist in the
Yeah.
losing side, climb, and then he starts winning hand peg to hand peg center. Then he can pump sideways, climb, pump sideways, get on top of it, press. That would be the only way he beats you. But do I seriously think that I know better than Vitaly? Vitaly should know all these things as well, and then some. So
Right.
to think that Vitaly doesn't know that that's the way, especially when he just saw Ermes beat you, he's going to be hopefully watching that match very intently, saying, "I need to do that." And I know that he knows that he needs to do that. So you are
Right.
preparing for him to not be able to do that. And he knows that you know that he knows that.
Right.
So it's this is one of
So
these
what would you
matches where
do? How shocked will the look on your face be? We slip. He can't keep me from slipping. We get in a strap. I have the buckle. I get a very tight strap. They say go. And he aggressively hit sideways and I aggressively hit backwards and the match stops in the center of the table.
I would not be that shocked.
So you think that there's a chance I can stonewall him in the center of the table with back pressure?
Stonewall is such a nasty word there. I believe it
Well,
can
we know
stop
he's
in
going
the
to try to hit
center.
me sideways, right?
He's winning center in the first few seconds of the match, yeah. Unless if he doesn't even try to contest it. If he's really smart, he may not even try to go
If he's
sideways.
really smart, he shouldn't contest it.
Yeah, because you're
His
already
aggressive
giving
side hit
Ethan
is what's going to
this.
bend his wrist back.
Yeah.
His
Because
aggressive attack is what's going to bend his wrist back.
and this is what Ermes told me before the match. I had spoken with him a bit, and he says like I told him, we were joking. I said the moment the match starts, just bend your wrist back and just press as hard as you can, and just don't stop. We were just like I was trying to basically as a joke telling him exactly what not to do, and he said no, 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 my friend, backwards, only backwards, no sideways. So he was basically telling me that he will never engage sideways. So the moment the match started, I thought I was like, oh shit, it looks really good for you. But then I remembered I was like, Ermes told me like before I got too excited, I was like, Ermes said he's not hitting sideways at all. So just
Right.
because it stops in the center of the table doesn't mean he can't win center. It just means maybe he's not contesting it. So
Right.
if you and Vitaly were to stop dead in the middle, my initial thought is he's not trying to win center, and neither are you. It would be the weirdest arm wrestling match ever to think that no one cares about sideways, but that might literally happen where both of you are just going so far backwards. But yeah,
So what if he hits sideways and I go backwards and the match stops in the center table?
I'll bet you some money that that won't happen. I think Vitaly will be arrogant enough that the first round he will try to blast you sideways. I'm almost certain of it.
I
Just
agree.
in all of his interviews, he seems so cocky and so confident that he's going to beat you really easily. And, he seems to just have that type of attitude towards it. And I'd be impressed if he can prove me that all of his beliefs are accurate. But I would be shocked if he doesn't try to blast you sideways in the first few seconds. And
I agree.
I'd be simultaneously shocked if somehow you can not lose center in his sideways blast.
Right. So all I have to do is stop the match before I touch the pads
Yeah,
with
somewhere
my pronation
here.
intact
Yeah.
without my riser being compromised. But I truly think, although it's only about a 25-30% chance, I think I can stop him in the center of the table.
I would give you a 4-1 odds on that, $100.
Well, that's 25. That was 25%. You just gave me 25%,
Well, no,
four
no,
to one.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I know. I see what you're saying.
yeah,
I bet
yeah,
$100 you give me 400. Yeah, I
yeah.
got it.
I'm in for that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty because I would be like winning center against you isn't getting any closer to winning the match, is the truth of it. But I
Right.
do believe he's winning center. But
Yeah, he should.
no matter
He
how
should.
much
Listen,
side pressure he trains, it's useless.
if he doesn't, then I might actually know how to train.
Yeah.
Like if
If you stop him in the center, I will make a 10-minute video detailing how good Michael Todd's training methods are, happily. And it'll have compilations of you
yeah.
saying these things. It'll have everything included. Because,
Yeah, like I said, my goal is just to stop the match and out heart the
man,
man. That's my goal is to out heart the man.
if you
But
did that, you and
yeah,
the winner of Ermes and Levan gets really exciting.
really exciting, right? Like if I'm
Yeah.
capable of doing something like that, especially early, fresh, and then you look at the time frame that I have, they have to pull 6 weeks after me, and I have that entire time to get ready. It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I'm a never pick against Levan type of guy. So I do believe Levan's going to beat Ermes. And frankly, if it's you and Levan in December, I think Levan will win. I'm not certain he'll win, but I'm not going to not pick Levan just based on his track record. It's impossible not to.
So what if? What if?
But now hear me though. A Michael
Yeah.
Todd that stopped Vitaly in the center on round one is the only thing that would get me interested in maybe considering picking against Levan.
Yeah. Well,
I would think,
what if I go into Levan? I beat Vitaly, go into and Levan wins, and I'm a shutout stakes. Do you
Uh,
still bet Levan?
well, the thing is, shutout stakes, people greatly overestimate its impact. So 70% of matches are 3 or 4 zeros. And I
Right.
specifically believe when it's a shutout stake for the guy with better endurance, so you need to win one, but you've got better endurance. If you win a round against Levan, you will win the match. I'm almost certain of it. Levan
Uh,
beating you is 4-0. You beating Levan is four
is
zero, 4-1, 4-2, or
4-2 or
4-3.
4-3. Right.
So the only way that there's rounds on both sides is you won the match. That's it.
Right.
So
Right.
like Levan, a shutout stake against Levan is a oxymoron to me. Levan
Right.
flash spins you 4 times, or you stop him and win. Those are the
Right.
two outcomes. So it being a shutout stake is uninteresting to me. But for example, if someone were to bet you know, I'll bet you Micheal Todd won't even stop him. I'll bet you he does. I'll bet something like that. But if we're talking rounds on the board,
Right.
yeah, you're winning or you're getting 4-0. Those are the only two options. So shutout stake is irrelevant to me.
But
Same
what
goes
about
for
shutout with me and Vitaly? Because Vitaly's supposed to beat me 3-0.
now this one's interesting because I actually do think you can win a round and lose the match. I think you could sneak a press on Vitaly in a way that you can't sneak a press on Levan. And I say sneak, it's pretty strong, your press. So maybe it's not really sneaking. Maybe you were strong enough to press him. But I definitely think that lane is open for you in a big way, especially if you're down, like the old adage, like a wounded animal is most threatening or whatever.
Right.
A wolf when it's fighting for its life is like the most scary guy to go against. When you're down 0-2 and you're pressing, that's a scary fucking press to stop, you know? That press did better than Jerry's press did against Ermes. If we look at your press against Ermes versus Jerry's press against Ermes, your press looked better. Not to say you have a better press than Jerry, it's not that simple, but you get the
Right.
point.
No.
So the fact that you went for a press and could decide to leave meant that it was pretty strong that you didn't just get opened up immediately by
Right.
Ermes. So I believe that press, there could be a world where you can get around where you're much quicker than him, and maybe he's not expecting your press, which is another thing, like people call it your sneaky press. You telegraph it more than anybody else. I don't know where the
They know
sneak
it's
is.
coming. Like it's. I'm like, listen, this is coming. And when they say go, when they say and
I'm
ready,
gonna press.
I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
fully expect me to try real hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason why people call it sneak is because you time it so well. You literally do it on the G of go, and you have to go frame by frame to see when you start. Like
Right.
against Gennady, the frame where they went on go, like the moment their mouth opens, I see you go like this. So
Yeah.
it was down to the millisecond, a perfectly timed press.
Right.
And some people can't deal with that if their load isn't as good as your hit.
Right.
But Vitaly Levan is another one of those guys where I think he beats guys who are stronger than him because he's so much faster. So whether you can press him or not is going to be an interesting idea, but I do think there's a world you can press him, and then the next round he's like, okay, Micheal Todd's going to press me. I need to be really careful for this. I also see Vitaly frequently, he'll hit so fast he'll foul. So I could also see a world where he fouls out and it gives you one. So that's why Vitaly and you shutout stake is a little bit different than betting on the winner
Right.
narrowly, just because of the fact that I do think you have ways of winning rounds that he can react to and adjust to.
Right.
Levan and you is very different. I don't believe you can press Levan
I don't
today.
think so either. Listen, I can press Lamont after I've bled him for a few rounds.
Absolutely. But
I
not on
can't
round
press it.
one
I can't
or
press him
two or
fresh. I don't
three.
think anyone can press him fresh.
Jerry just tried, and your press
Yeah.
isn't as good as Jerry's. I have no
Well, I
problem
think
saying that.
Jerry or Camille have the strongest offensive press in the world,
Yeah.
and
And
there's no chance to press Levon.
yeah, so because of that, you would be wise that if you were down 0-3 against Levan, I know you wouldn't even try to press. You would just go, I'm going to do my outside move and hope it works because I
Right.
think it's that futile to press Levan. But Vitaly certainly is vulnerable to the press, and we've seen that with Dave and God, who was the other guy who pressed him? Wasn't there someone else who pressed him? Maybe I'm mistaken.
Well, Camille pressed him left-handed.
Yeah, Camille lefty. So I mean, and it's no one's surprise that yeah, you have a super long lever and you're a top roller. You don't like getting pressed. So
Right.
I could see a world you might be down 0-2 and you press him to get 3-2 win, where he may deal with your outside move, but your press is his kryptonite because a press
Right.
that can flash pin Gennady is, in my opinion, probably stronger than the press that Dave did against him in round 5. So
Yeah.
I'm not so ready to say that your press isn't overwhelming and that's how you win. Um, man, I'm kind of convincing myself that maybe you are the favorite. I don't know, man.
So
I go back
are
and
you going to
forth.
bet on this match?
No, no, not a. I need to talk to Vitaly. If Vitaly told me some stupid shit, like he's gonna hold on real tight on the first round outside the straps, and he's gonna blast you sideways, I would bet money on you. But until I know that, I won't do that. I really agree with how you're training for Vitaly. Um, but if I really agreed with how Vitaly was training for you, I wouldn't be confident on either side because
Right,
on paper he should beat you. He's younger, he's taller, he's bigger, he's got everything in the world. He's got every genetic ability to beat you.
right,
Uh, but at the same time, if I know anybody who approaches your style stupidly will lose.
right.
End of story. Anybody who goes in with like the Vitaly that faced Ermes, that guy, when he gets stopped, he's got this panicky attitude where I feel like he'll continue doing the same thing. If that Vitaly is showing up with that mentality where he'll get nervous if he gets stopped, that guy's not winning because he needs to get ready to be stopped and for a long match where he's adjusting and you're adjusting. That's what he
Right.
should prepare for.
Right.
All right. Couple more questions. Do you
Yeah,
have to go anytime
tell me
soon
how
or
long we are right now. How long are we in?
like a minute, hour 15? If you got to go, you got to go. No problem.
Okay, yeah, let's run these last two. I didn't realize after I do have to go.
All right. Very quick. So, first thing, left arm goals.
I don't really have any right now because I'm solely focused on the right arm.
Hmm.
Um, after this year, once I stop super heavyweight, this journey, I'll probably get back in doing some left-handed pulling. My left's
Hmm.
pretty strong. It's actually pretty strong because I've been doing those static holds and stuff left with my right. It's surprising how strong my left's starting to get.
Well, it
Um,
was funny. Your left arm pronation lift wasn't too far off mine there when you first started it.
oh
But
God, it's bad.
yeah, 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 I mean, it's terrible, but it's catching up. And I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
like,
it's still so far.
I
I'm telling you,
remember
my
the moment
max
I
left
saw that
arm
thing
pronation,
and you literally lifted
115,
half of
120.
your right arm. I'm like,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, your
yeah,
left arm's a little ways away, but that's okay.
yeah, yeah.
I do think though that lift is one of those ones where uh you get stronger at that lift. Like the first time you try it won't be the most weight you can do.
No.
Even a month later, you may do 10%, 20% more just because you kind of it gets
Yeah,
used
kind
to
of
it.
figured out a little bit.
Yeah.
The
Uh
left is so much a pressing arm, and it's my hooking ability left-handed. My drag hook, everything's real strong lefty.
yeah.
Um,
You and Wagner would be awesome. I've heard you float that. That sounds great.
I like that idea, but that's a super heavyweight match. So if I don't do left hand until I get back to heavyweight, that opens up a lot of matches.
Hmm. Yeah, well, like in my opinion, if you're going to start left-handed, you got to start somewhere near the bottom of the totem pole just to see.
100%. Yeah,
We got to
and
figure
plus
out where you are.
it's a lot more paydays. You know what I'm saying? Start at the
Yeah,
bottom, work your way up. You
yeah.
know,
That's what Devin's doing lefty. He's like, I'll take Corey, and he goes, I want the next guy, and then the next guy, and the next guy. He's trying to get that win bonus and show bonus as
there you
as
go.
far as far as the eye can see. So he's doing it right.
There you go. Right.
Final question: favorite and least favorite thing about being a public figure?
So I'm an introvert forced to live an extrovert's life.
Okay.
So I would much rather. So rich and famous, right? I would much rather have financial security than anyone know my name.
Yeah. But
So
people
if I
need to
could
know your
choose,
name for you to have the financial security, which
yeah,
is the double-edged
it's the
sword.
best. It's the best way. It's the only way that I know to be able to live my life with my best friend and provide for my family is to have a certain degree
Hmm.
of fame, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the best thing about it is it allows me to live a life with my best friend. You know, I have amazing life experiences. I can do a lot of really cool shit, uh, and I appreciate like I make people think it's a big deal to make time to sign pictures or sign this or take pictures, whatever. Like that's just part of it, man. Be thankful, right?
Hmm.
Um, so all that's cool. Worst part would be just the social media, you know, backlash, ridiculous. People just saying things on a computer they never say to your face. You know,
Uh-huh. And
I guess
like,
that.
yeah, I mean, that's a pretty predictable response from you. I was kind of more curious about the favorite one, but the worst one is definitely like
Yeah,
the amount
yeah.
of backlash you get versus the person I know you are
Well, I get it. I get it
is
for being me. Like
ridiculous.
I'm not playing a role. I'm not being a character. I'm just a guy who's passionate about what he does.
Hmm.
maybe you don't share that passion, maybe you don't understand that passion, but because of that, you want to say negative things about me, bash me, whatever. That's more a result of your character, not mine. So
Uh-huh.
like whatever, I mean, it's still like I'm a person with feelings, so it's offensive. Uh, I'm not trying to have everybody like me. If I was, I'd be a fucking robot. Like I'm me. Like
Yeah.
I don't change those. If I react this way to this situation, mark my words. The next time that situation arises, I'm reacting the same damn way. Like I
Yeah.
haven't evolved much. You know what I mean? Like I'm instinctive in most of the things I do. Um, but that's just how I was raised. It's a product of my life experiences. It's just who I am.
Yeah. I felt the same way where I was like, oh, the comments don't bug me. But I only said that because I got only nice comments. But when I started getting some mean comments, I'm like, damn, that kind of hurts a little bit when I read this stuff. But then
Right.
I sort of came out the other end when I realized I'm like, these people are nasty. Like every person I know in arm wrestling has people who are awful to them in comments. I
Well,
realize that's just part of existing. Like,
what's crazy is as many loyal followers that Devin has, people who just worship him. He has almost as many people who hate him and despise him
mhm,
and say horrible things about him and to us about his family. Like, listen, you might that's not the guy that you want to be like. I mean, it's seriously, at some point, it's probably not super wise to be, bashing his son and his family. You know what I'm saying?
uh-huh.
Like, if you're talking about a level of crazy, like he might be just one above the rest of us. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
like
I mean,
like
it's probably,
Devin
yeah.
Devin is the guy that, if he goes like, "Oh, I recognize that house in your picture."
Damn right. Like, listen, I mean, Devin's been the guy. If I ever need somebody that shit's going south, that's my first call. I'm like, hey, we got some shit to handle, so I need you here. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, that's the guy. That's kind of a relationship we've had for a long time. Um,
If you were
but
back to
yeah,
back in an alley with anybody, you want to be
yeah.
back to back with Devin.
Listen, throw Corey in there with us too. That motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Corey's this calm, shy dude, but he's a person who doesn't know how strong he is.
Yeah.
I think Corey might could literally tear a person in half. Like,
Well,
I think he's a
I
person
will
who,
not volunteer as tribute. Yeah,
if you
somebody
ever push
else.
that dude too far, I think the shit that he could do, just you know how you get stronger with adrenaline.
Uh-huh.
Like you I don't know when we were younger, we heard stories about the mother picking it off
Oh
something off their
yeah.
baby to save their baby, shit like that.
Uh-huh.
That shit's real. And don't let
Absolutely.
Corey ever get pushed to a point where that shit happens to that dude. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Because
that's
if the mom can lift the car, Corey can
what
rip
can
the
he
thing in
do?
half.
Like I'm telling you, like, and Devin is just he's like Devin is a person who, if he's your friend, he's your friend, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, but it's just shocking to me that people would choose. Like, I get it, people might want to fuck with me some, but a lot of that's because they don't really know me. But people know Devin's history. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh.
I just, it's shocking to me. I'm every time I hear that he says people are saying stupid, I'm like, are you serious? And some of the shit that Jody told us, I'm like, it just blows my mind that people would literally say that to y'all, considering who he is.
Yeah. I mean,
But
like I don't know a single person that knows you personally and would ever say some of the stuff that I read online about you. Like it's just remarkable. And I'm not saying personally like, oh, Michael Todd's going to beat your ass, but I
no,
don't have a bad thing to say about you. Like that's the thing. Like even if you told me Michael Todd can't beat you up, I'm if I'm John Jones, I don't have shit to talk about Michael Todd. He's a good guy. Like I just don't
yeah,
get the amount, like the volume of like confident hatred that gets spewed at you.
it's crazy.
It's
Like
remarkable. Yeah.
it seems very illogical. Like, there's no logic behind what's the rationale? Where's your reasoning? What did I do?
Yeah.
What did I personally do to you that affected you in such a way that you have such extreme hatred for me? Like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
What did I
I,
do?
I
You know
get
what I'm
the
saying? Like,
hatred for the King's move, but I
yeah.
don't get why they push it onto you.
But I'm not the only one that does the King's move. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
okay, but you
like,
do it. To be fair, you do it much more than anybody. I can't think of it. When I think of the King's move, I think of you four times before I think of someone else. To be
you really
fair.
think of me before Devin?
Oh, for sure.
Because
Today, yes.
he's had way uglier King's moves than me.
Oh, absolutely way uglier ones.
Way
But
uglier. Not as often.
if
Not
we're
as
talking
often.
modern day, absolutely you have more Kings moves like recently than him.
I have more open top rolls.
Yeah, well,
Kingsman,
okay.
your shoulders below the shoulder, below the table. I don't
Yeah,
ever go
yeah,
below the
yeah.
table. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I consider what you do today to be the King's move. But
yeah, I
if we're
get it. I get
talking
it.
like
I'm just
this
playing with you.
King's
Yeah,
move, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because
I'm messing with you.
Engen is clear to make that distinction. There's the desperation move and then the open arm top roll. The King's move
Right.
doesn't exist in Engen's world, you know?
No,
So
no, it's desperation move. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I agree. Like in my opinion, I don't have any issue watching this, but I acknowledge that people clearly don't like watching it. So I think it's better that it's not allowed just because it's so clearly not liked to watch.
Yeah.
But
Right, right.
personally, I loved watching you go like this and Jerry drip sweat while he tries to press you, and it's 3-2, and you're both dying. Like I
Right.
love that shit. But
Right,
a lot of people don't, you know?
right.
You and Devin in 2018, had he pinned you that fifth round, I think the rules might be different today. I think
Oh yeah.
literally it might have been that little difference on that day. If he's 1% stronger and he wins, it might
Yeah.
have been a totally different rule change. If he knew to climb and press back then, a whole different
So
ball game maybe.
he did know to climb and press because that's what he did in 2011. I trained with a 3-inch Raptor handle, and go watch the match. I never climb. I clamp my hand and I just drag back. So every time he opens his hand to climb, there's nowhere to go because my finger. You see the whites of my fingertips because there's so
Uh-huh.
much pressure in my hand. I just clamp my hand. Wasn't gonna let him climb.
I'm definitely gonna watch that back. Now
Yeah,
that I know that, I'm gonna
yeah,
look for it. But anyway, thank you
yeah.
so much for coming on. I know we gotta end it here. I appreciate you very much for coming on. Michael Todd against Vitaly Levan, May 10th. This is a really, really, really good card. And this is an excellent card. This is definitely one where if you are an arm wrestling fan, you should not skip this. Thank you, Michael Todd. You got anything to say to the people before we end today?
No, man. Just thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. It is gonna be a great card. Don't forget to get the pay-per-view. Um, yeah, exciting times.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael Todd.